Let's Science is brought to you by the StarQuest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit sqpn.com/give.
3, 2, 1.
We live in a universe of scientific wonders.
Every day, scientists are inching towards breakthroughs which can change our lives.
We're playing our small part in sharing these wonders with you.
That's why today is a fine day for science.
So let's science.
Caroline, I'm going to read how you've put it here. This is great, all right? So cool. Our science topic is, we will talk a tiny bit about space later on, but our science topic is actually about cats.
It's about time, really.
Yeah, man's other best friend, or man's dominant best friend, really, because the cat's the one in charge. But Caroline, the headline here is, cats love boxes so much, they'll even sit on fake ones. Caroline, over to you.
Yeah, so this is a headline that I took from the Live Science Online magazine, and it caught me as soon as I read it. I'm like, okay, I've got to read this one. And then I read it and I was like, okay, I've got to talk about this one. Forget all the science Mars stuff. Today we're talking about cats.
We don't care that NASA's got a helicopter on Mars. This is about cats, and this is what matters.
Made oxygen on Mars.
In true cat fashion, where it's all about the cat, this is where, is where the topic
exactly.
is.
That's cat trumps Mars. So, all right. So this is actually really cool. Okay, and if you're a cat lover, I think you'll be inspired to try some things out after I finish. So, and please, excuse my voice once again. So people who own cats know that they love to sit in boxes. Can I confirm this with you, Lino? You have two cats.
Definitely.
Okay.
OMG. Yep.
Yes. All right. So they find.
Or is it OMC? Is it my cat?
Oh, my cat. Yes. Okay. That's a bit better.
You're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. Someone laughed at that.
We're on fire
today. I was the one who laughed at that.
Yes. So cats love them because they're fun to play in. They can spy on prey, including their owners who walk by and they kind of just jump out at their legs.
Yeah, they leap out, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
They love it. They're naughty. They're very cheeky. They feel really cozy, when they go in a box. They look so happy and cozy. They might, curl up and have a sleep, and they feel nice and safe in them. Well, a citizen science project was undertaken recently and led by Gabriella Smith, who's an animal cognition scientist. And after listening to a lecture on how dogs react to visual illusions, she wondered, this is a quote, if cats' tendency to sit in squares on the floor would extend to illusionary squares. So we've heard of probably most cat lovers would have heard of the if it fits, I sit philosophy. So they've done these experiments, like when you tape a square onto the floor, the cat might go and sit in it, or if there's a tiny little box, the cat will try and fit themselves into it, or laundry baskets, vases. I've witnessed a lot of this with my own cats. So if there's anything that they can think that they fit themselves into, they will go into it.
They will squeeze themselves into
Damien
it.
And I, Damien and I, sometimes we watch funny cat videos on YouTube, and we saw a cat, it was just a really small bowl, and the cat just somehow managed to coil its body into this bowl and just fit itself snugly in. It's that looks painful, but it's it was really happy in there. Yeah,
that's it. And a few years ago, there was also the Cat Square Challenge, which was where people would post pictures of their cats sitting in tape squares to social media. So, this was a thing.
Right. So I have to do this soon.
Yeah, you're going to have to try this.
I'm going to inspire you. So, so this scientist, Gabriella Smith, and her colleagues decided they would try a little different angle with this, okay? So they wanted to focus on the Kinesia illusion, which is, so imagine circles. So it's an illusion, and you cut out, nobody can see my hands, you guys can see what I'm doing, but you cut out a quarter of the circle and cut out 4. So you put they're like Pac-Mans. They look like Pac-Mans.
Yeah, Pac-Mans.
And you put 4 in a square shape, and you put the triangles facing each other so that it looks like the illusion of a square. So you can actually look this up on Wikipedia, and there's lots of different kind of illusions, just visual illusions that, people can make. So they thought, let's try this with making the illusion of a square. So what they did is they used Twitter, and they called out for people for cat owners to take part in a citizen science project, which over 6 days, volunteers made these square outlines using the Kinesa square illusion and cut out the Pac-Man shapes, then oriented them in a way to create the square. And then also next to that, they would use the Pac-Mans to make a shape that wasn't a square. So what they did, and also they asked their owners to put sunglasses on so that you don't make eye contact with the cat. In my experience, cats don't care what you've got on your face.
It's only if they're interested. They'll only pay attention if you're interested.
That's it.
Yeah,
they just
exactly.
know it's you, and
Food,
they'll come up to you.
Something about a little toy. Yeah. Yep, understand.
But anyway, so what they would do, they take the cat out of the room, make the square shape and the not square shape, and then let the cat into the room where the shapes were, and watch to see if the cats preferred either of these shapes. Okay, so and they wanted to see if a cat would sit in either of these shapes for more than 3 seconds, and recorded the test on video. So what happened is about 30 people did complete the test, and only actually 9 cats decided that they would take part and make a choice of the shapes to sit in. And 7 of these cats did actually go sit in the illusion of the square, so the Kinesa square. So it wasn't an actual square, but it was the illusion of the square. So they did have one cheeky cat who decided, now I'm not sitting in that square, I'm going to the other shape. But, it could be that he thought, oh, that's a cool toy, let me go have a look at it.
Right.
If I know what the square's about, I'm just going over to the other one. So this experiment kind of did suggest that cats can be susceptible to the illusion. So, if there are cats who like the square taped on the ground, then maybe they also do perceive the illusion of a square, which is really interesting to see how, think about how a cat brain works. And so the researchers want to try, down the track, maybe using a 3D version of this to see if the cat can be fooled or, tricked into thinking that this is actually like a box. So, will they go sit in this illusion? Now, I actually tried this experiment, okay? So I thought, let's see how this is going to go. So I cut out the Pac-Mans, I put them there, and then I bought my little cat, Stella. So she's my new Burmese. She's 7 months old, right? And she's, and I just thought I put her near the 2 shapes, and she's like, oh, cool, paper. She went had a sniff, and then she's like, hi, Mum, what you doing? She just came up to me. Like, okay. And then I thought, maybe if I call her over, I just thought come and sit here. She's like, what are you doing? Like, what? She just didn't even regard anything that was on the floor. Then I thought, okay, you know what? I'll try the tape square one. I actually cut out paper and I put it down because I don't want to put any tape on my tile floor. But anyway, so I cut out thin strips of paper, and I made a square, and I took her away, and then I, got her to come back. No, didn't even notice the square. You know what then? And then I actually left that shape, and I left that square shape. Then I just happened to get an Amazon delivery not long before this. So I thought, I've got a box. Let me put the box next to these shapes. What did she do? She's like right in the box. She's just went straight away in the box.
There you go.
So she wasn't going to be fooled by any like paper or Pac-Mans. She just wanted to go straight in the box. So I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's interesting to think some of the cats do like the illusions, but some cats like the real box, like the real thing. So, just having done that experiment of my own, I mean, I just wonder, like, do some cats think differently to other cats? Like, I did invite my other cats to try as well, but no, it was the box that was the thing. So like they didn't want any illusions.
Yeah.
They clearly didn't read this article, and they clearly didn't want me to take photos of them sitting in a square, because that's what I was really hoping for. But I do have photographic evidence, so I could show you. I could send them over to you, and maybe we could post a couple up of my cats just going, I'm not, what's this paper on the floor? But hey, thanks for the box. So
I wonder. I wonder if you left those illusionary squares for a day or two, and just out of sight, out of mind for a while, and then if the cats would naturally warm up to it, see it, and maybe go, oh, there's a square, I might just go sit in that.
Well, you know what? Now you're saying that, I actually left them. I did leave them, and I thought maybe I'll just go away and I'll just keep looking. But they just completely, and then they just kind of moved the paper out of the way and was just playing with the paper. So they just didn't want to have a part of it. So, no, it's for me, for my cats, the box, the actual box. And just having said that, that if it fits, I sits thing, I just, a little, something I noticed this morning is I have, one of those tall cat scratching pole things, and they've got beds in them and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But my little cats, they love to sit in them, especially in winter. But my little cat Stella went and took the prime positions. There's a bed on top, it's like a little basket hanging down, and whichever cat gets it first gets to sit in there.
Exactly.
Right.
It does.
So Stella got it this morning. And my other cat, Stella's like not fully grown yet. She's like a 3/4 size cat at the moment. And then my other cat, Chippy, he's a Siamese cross, ragdoll. So he's a big boy, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to go see if that's available. And he went up there. He saw that Stella was in there, and he's like, you know what, there's a little spot here. I'm just going to squeeze myself in here. And he sat right on top of it. So yes, if anything, the if it fits, I sits hypothesis is supported out of this whole experiment. So anyway. So
if it fits, I sit. I like that.
Yeah.
That's the that's great.
That's my conclusion anyway.
Yeah. Lino, have your cats contorted themselves into any particular places in your house at all?
Oh, definitely, guys. Yeah, same as Caroline. When we first, I won't forget, when we first brought them from the cat shelter, from the boxes, Cordell, as you guys know, he's very sociable, so he's out of the box. Lawrence took a while to come out of the box, maybe at least an hour? Oh, there he goes. Oh, when I
I did hear him, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, he took a while to come out. And then, surprisingly, during the nighttime, they went back in their boxes. Even though we had everything all set up, like everyone knows, you set up everything for cats, And no, they went back in the boxes for the night. Even though we told them there's a bed there and everything, but they went back in the boxes for a bit. Because like Caroline would understand, I think it's more of the enclosure and being safe, you know what I mean? And then, like every cat, they got used to their house and smelling and everything now. I've got a lot of cat stories that Caroline wouldn't understand, and everyone who has cats. Oh my goodness me! They're the lovely creatures. I'm not doing cats, dogs, and all the pets. And I've said before that any pet you have is part of the family, and they bring joy to all of us. Yeah, I think the box thing, I may have to try that.
Yeah, you try it and tell us what
try
you think.
it on your cat. So
and I'm thinking too that maybe the reason they didn't sit in these squares and the illusions is probably because they're quite comfortable at home already, and they don't need to. They're like, I don't need to find security here. I'm quite okay. Like maybe anxious cats sit in those squares. Who knows? There's all sorts of things you can test out of this one experiment, But my cats are quite, they know they own the house, and they know, so they know they own me. So not only am I mother to, 2 boys, but mother to these 3 cats as well. So, but you're right. They're totally part of the family.
There you go. If it's science and if it's the cognitive function of cats, we'll go there. So yeah.
It was one thing, guys. I don't know if it was you, Caroline. Did you send on Facebook about a story? Was 2 dogs and 1 cat went to heaven? Was that you or someone?
Might not have been me.
And so a dog Just very quickly, I'm gonna probably get into trouble with this. You can edit this out, Tom. In Dom, if you want to ban like this. So 2 dogs and 1 cat went to heaven. One dog was a golden retriever, and the other dog was a German shepherd. So the golden and the other cat was just a normal cat. And so God asked the golden retriever, so what have you done during your life? And the golden retriever does, I've protected my master, I've loved my master, I've protected the family. And he goes, okay, cool. So you sit on my right hand side. And asked the German shepherd, and the German shepherd said the same thing. I'll love my master, I'll care for the whoever protected. And God said, okay, you sit on my right hand side. And God asked the cat, and the cat said, you're sitting in my spot.
That is so true.
That's
cats.
good. I love that.
I'm not sure it was you, Cal. I
That
just
is
said
so
it. Said it on Facebook, but
It's so funny.
Anyway, there's so
gosh.
much truth to that.
There
All
is.
right. On that note, let's
It's a good one. I love it.
some minor topics. So very quickly, we just on the space front. Very quickly, let's go back to outer space. SpaceX. SN15, they've managed to land a Starship prototype. Caroline, take it away. What happened?
Oh yeah, this was really cool. So, the launch went off without a hitch. We couldn't see that well again because the weather was a bit.
It flew into the fog,
overcast.
didn't it? Yeah.
It did. But those cameras they have on board are amazing. I love seeing the rockets. The first-hand view of the rockets, and it was a pretty good flight. They went up. They took their time. They did the horizontal flip.
Not the flip, yeah. That's right, yeah.
It flew down, and then it was pretty okay. And then they went back to the vertical, landed back down. And then there were a few moments, Lindsay and Lino, where I thought, oh my gosh, they are coming down too fast. But then at the last minute, they did start to regain some control. And it seemed like it was more of a controlled land. And they landed it. So yay to SpaceX. Well done.
That's
for a good
amazing.
landing. It did.
Yeah.
I was waiting, to be honest.
Waiting for a boom or an explosion later on. Or, like
then,
the previous one, yeah.
And no kabloom. And what's the meme that I sent you?
Awesome. It is.
Where's the
that's
earth-shattering kaboom?
Where's the kaboom? Yeah. Where's my earth-shattering kaboom? Yes.
If anyone remembers Marvin Martian, but yes. Awesome. So I thought that was great. That's progress, and I'm really excited to see more test flights going well from these guys. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
SN15 had the next generation Raptor engines, so they'd used the first Raptor engines were prototypes on the previous SN series. SN11 was the last one. That was the one that exploded in just in the fog. You saw nothing. And suddenly there's just bits and pieces
Debris.
flying everywhere.
Yes.
It exploded in midair. But they'd gathered all the data that they needed from that series of testing from 8 through to 11. So they skipped 12, 13, 14 because they didn't need to do any more of that version of the rocket. They'd already been advancing with, like Elon Musk had said previously, SN15 will be a more mature design, better Raptor engines, better design, like the internals of moving fuel from the header tank to the engines when the landing burn starts. All of that would be sorted out, and you could see clearly, like it was a flawless landing. It was beautiful.
It was
to watch.
very good. I think there was a little bit of a fire going on
at the end. There was a fire, methane fire, which they managed to thankfully get under control pretty quickly.
Yes, but it was good. You could tell it was a better flight for sure. It was a lot smoother.
Yeah, so there's going to be testing of, I think it was 16 and 17 from memory. Don't quote me on that. But the big thing is SN20. This is the one. This is the one we're all going to be looking forward to. Do you want to, Caroline, give us a brief what's happening? Well, planned for July, but what are SpaceX planning on doing? Because this is
flying.
I don't care what time of the day this happens. I'm going to be watching this.
Actually, I'd like to be on their flight because they're flying to Hawaii.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to. Yeah, take
amazing.
a Starship to Hawaii. Yeah.
Yes, the actual.
Sorry, Wi-Fi there.
An actual flight. So imagine catching a Starship to Hawaii. I think I'd do that. That would be fun.
Yeah, the idea that it's actually going to be mounted on, I think BM3 is the name of the booster. This thing is a monster, what they've got in mind.
Yeah, was it 16 stories or something? 16 stories
it's huge.
high. It's
they're still building the towers for the Boca Chica as well.
Yeah, it's going to be massive.
It's going to be stacked on a booster. It's going to be an orbital launch, so the Starship will go into orbit, and then I think it's going to be I think the whole thing it'll orbit for 90 minutes, I think it was. And then after 90 minutes, it will then re-enter the Earth's atmosphere, well, that's the planet anyway, and land somewhere off the coast of Hawaii.
That'd be so good.
Yeah. So it looks like, if all goes well, this will be on the school holidays because I haven't got 90 minutes of work to watch the whole thing from start to end. Unless work has some kind of rocket leave that I don't know about, like some kind of...
hang on. How long does a class go for at school?
Yeah, right, yeah. Kids, I know that we're meant to be doing philosophy today, but we're going to be looking at rockets.
But we're actually going to be
streaming. Kind of philosophy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to leave it on in the background. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Look, that's science. Valuable learning.
It's actually very interesting because when I do, like, if there has been a rocket launch, so I showed the Crew 2 launch, I think it was, or it was either that or it was the demo 2 launch. I had it on the background in just while we were doing work, so I didn't get the kids to focus on it. They were doing their work, but the number of questions, the curiosity they have, like even the Starship demos, sometimes they're like, oh, are there people on that? They have questions like they want to know. So it's like, no, but guess what they're going to do with this? And it's like, it opens up their horizons a bit, which is pretty amazing. Yeah. So let's see what happens. We'll be watching very closely what happens at Boca Chica and seeing what Elon Musk's Starbase, as he calls it, is going to produce.
This is so exciting. Yeah. Cannot wait to see more.
Let's Science is brought to you by StarQuest Media and is a fortnightly podcast that brings you the scientific wonders of our universe from a distinctly Catholic point of view. For more from Caroline, Lindsay, and friends, listen to the StarQuest show, Catholics of Oz. Find links from today's show at sqpn.com/science and find the Catholics of Oz at sqpn.com/Oz. Be sure to follow the show in Apple Podcasts, Google Play, wherever you can find podcasts, or on the SQPN YouTube channel. The generous donations of our patrons at sqpn.com/give make it possible for us to continue Let's Science and all the shows at StarQuest, which makes our nonprofit mission possible. You can join them by visiting sqpn.com/give. Join us next time for more scientific wonders, and thank you for listening to Let's Science on StarQuest.